Alright, well, it's time to get started. Let's see here. I'm going to restart my phone real quick. Maybe we can get the rest of the stream going for everyone else. How's everyone doing? What are we doing? What's going on? How was your weekend? Alright. I had... Oh, man. I was busy all weekend. This is nuts. It's Friday night. I went out to downtown Chicago. It's a good time. Saw an old army buddy of mine. Is this thing going to restart? What are we doing? There we go. Took an unusually long amount of time. So yeah. Well, I'll get to Friday night in a minute. Then Saturday and Sunday, I removed my mother-in-law's back deck and just demoed all the floorboards and the stairs. I tell you what, man, I was hurting after that. There we go. Come on, phone, I believe in you. I've had this phone for a long time. It's time to upgrade, but I'm waiting. It's like we have a fiber out in front of the house, and I am waiting to get fiber installed, and I might switch all of my phone services in with my cable bill. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. But this phone it's a Samsung Galaxy S10. I think they're up to version 24 now. So how many do they release a year? 2 a year? So it's at least 7 years old, maybe? Alright, let's try this again. Let's try it again. Audience controls. It looks like it's going to work this time. The opening screen going for too long. I don't want people sitting there watching and waiting for me to show up, you know what I mean? It's like at the end of the stream, there's a slide that is only, it just says stream ending, and I don't want to have that going for too long after the stream is done. I made a mess of all my nice piles here. That's okay. Alright, so where are we at? I am currently working on another Monkey Paw. This is wrapped around a glass marble, right? So that's what's inside here, in this one, and in this one. And we'll be working on one that looks similar to this tonight. I've got one strap done. You got to make 3 of these, 3 bands or straps, or right, and then you wrap them around your marble. It's not hard, it's just took me a while to figure out. Now I have 3 of them, and I'm working on a 4th. So it's a good way to use up old rings I can't use for anything else. So I have my start here of the second band. And if you've never seen me before, my name's Sean. I run mailworks.com. I design and sell chainmail themed apparel and accessories, and I make chainmail. And we're just getting started. How was your weekend? What's going on with you guys? Thank you for the follow. Appreciate you. Appreciate. Words are hard. I'm very exhausted. I had quite the weekend. On Friday night, I drove to downtown Chicago and hung out with an old Army buddy of mine. He's doing very well. And then I only went down the wrong street. It was a one-way street. I went down the wrong way one time while trying to get out of downtown Chicago. So, I'm pretty proud of myself. But then, of course, my phone had to be restarted. I had to pull over. And I didn't know if I was going to make it out of Chicago because I was very, very lost. But once I got the GPS going, I was good to go. Mike, how you doing? What's going on in your world? Apparently I'm throwing rings all over the place. So, yeah. We went to a place called Rosebuds. I had a good steak, a good ribeye, and these like candied potatoes that reminded me of the candied potatoes you would get with the chicken marsala at Olive Garden back in the day. If you go now and get the chicken marsala, you get noodles. But back in the day, you would get these candied potatoes, and they're awesome. So I was very happy to have those with my ribeye. But Saturday and Sunday, I tore apart my mother-in-law's deck, getting the floorboards out and the stairs. And then Sunday, me and my brother-in-law put new floorboards in, and we got almost all the way done. It's like we got the stairs done, and then all but one board on the deck. You survived Cancun and back in the U.S., so not too bad. 2 more days of vacation left before you return to work. Right on. Glad to hear Cancun didn't take you out. Hope you had fun. I've never been to Mexico. I've been to Canada. I've never been to Mexico. I've set foot in Ireland. I spent 2 days in Germany. 3 days? 2 or 3 days in Germany. We're multiple days in Kuwait, Qatar, and 2 years in Iraq, right? But never Mexico. I've never been on a cruise. Urgh. It's fine. I don't like traveling anyway. Thank you for the heart. Appreciate you. So, I woke up Sunday morning, and after demolishing this the deck, I could not move. I was in a ton of pain. Really feeling the age, you know what I mean? So today, I did the best that I could at work, and I made it through. It was a very busy day. But I am still hurting. So, I'll be alright a couple of days. But that is why I wasn't here the last several days. So here, I think my last stream was on Thursday. And I just had some stuff to do, you know. Gotta go take care of family. And it's important to catch up with your army buddies. So, my friend and I, we went to Fort Benning for 2 weeks, where we lived in trailers. And then we left. We didn't go to basic training at Fort Benning. We went to basic training at Fort Sill, Oklahoma, in Lawton, Oklahoma. And then we went to AIT together in San Antonio. And then we went off to different places, but somehow we ended up both at Fort Polk, Louisiana. He was in a infantry unit that played the bad guys out in the field. They're called Op 4 for Opposition Forces. So He would spend every month out in the field, like 3 weeks out of every month, training up a unit. And I worked in a field hospital. But we both got deployed to Iraq around the same time. We were nowhere near each other during that time. But we were in the country together. So it was a good time. All right. Where are we at? So I do have fiber coming. See, we've already got drop frame rate from, yeah, a bunch of drop frame rate on TikTok, or not TikTok, Twitch, YouTube, X, and Facebook, right? That are on my computer. And then, so I need the AT&T to get their fiber program up. I will be one of the first people to sign up for it. And then I need a stream key from TikTok. One day, despite doing this night after night, most nights of the week, one day TikTok will take me as a serious streamer. You know what I mean? So, I want to get this little third monkey paw done, and then I want to go back to the... It's called Hoodoo Hex. It's a weave I was working on. I'd never really done it before. And one of my mutual chainmail friends made several little spheres out of it. I was like, I want to do that, except I want to wrap it around a glass marble. Or one of these 1-inch stainless steel ball bearings that I have. I got a lot of these left over. I ordered 40 of them, and I only ended up using 22 in my giant 30-pound cube. So, Astrid, how you doing? What's going on? But yeah, I want to get back to the Hoodoo Hex project and play with that weave some more. But for now, I'll settle for just getting a chance to sit down and use some pliers, because I have been busy all weekend and I have not had the energy or the chance to weave anything, which is, it's very, very, very rare that I go 3 days without having pliers in my hands. So, almost going through withdrawals. So where are we at? All right. So, if anybody's been around long enough to have seen the Finnegan's Wake flag, Finnegan's Wake was a bar in Alexandria, Louisiana that me and the army buddy I just saw on Friday would frequent on the weekends. And I bought a spear to hang it from. And it said it was in stock on the website, but it has not been shipped. So I don't know what's going to happen with that. I hope it arrives. Just building for Saturday. Managed to get into the Viking Fest with an artist group. Nice. It's awesome. Good for you. What is the line? Good for you. Good for you. Good for you. That is a line from a movie somewhere. Is it like Anchorman? Where he's doing voice inflection or something? Anyway, doesn't matter. Oh, speaking of movies, I watched the movie Dune last night. After getting through rebuilding my mother-in-law's deck, I was too exhausted to do anything, and I had to work on this morning, and I was like, all right, I have the energy to get cleaned up and then sit down the rest of the night, and that's it. I don't have any energy to come and sit downstairs and stream or anything. So I watched Dune. It was on Prime and it was free. And then to watch the second half, I gotta rent it or buy it or something. I'm sure it's got to be worth it, right? Like, the first half was really good, I thought. So the second half's worth renting. And I'm curious to know how... I'm not curious to know how the story progresses. I read the book and several of the books, and, you know, I watched the first movie from, 1984 or something. Still haven't seen the second half, but you want to build some chain inspired by those looks. The looks in the second half. I didn't notice anything in the first half that I would have copied in Chainmail. But I did like the first half. So, I rarely watch new movies anymore, unless they're kids' movies, and it's like in theater and I take my kid to go see it, you know? And usually I'm down here in my free time, chatting away, weaving rings, making stuff. I don't sit down and watch TV a lot. But my son did come in about halfway through the first movie, and he wants to watch the whole thing, and then he and I will watch the second half together. Or I think that's what's going to happen. Oh, here was a fun thing with my son. So, Monday, last week, he tells me, I want to go to basketball tryouts. I said, okay. He doesn't tell me when they are. Doesn't tell me where they are. I mean, I assume they're at his school, because that's just where they would be, right? And they were. But he didn't tell me anything about it. And then Friday rolls around. I pull up to pick him up, and my kid's not out there. All the adults are like, well, we're looking for him. So a couple minutes go by, and they come out and they tell me that he is at basketball tryouts. I was like, oh, okay. Well, whatever. I didn't realize they were today. And he takes it upon himself to get physically active. Like, Lord knows, I'm not physically active enough as a parent. I take him on bike rides and stuff, but like, it's dark when we get home from school now after daylight savings time, and I'm kind of a homebody. I'm lazy. That's what it is. I'm lazy. I don't know. I don't know. I don't really go on hikes or walks or anything. So he is 10 and likes to be physically active. So he does his thing, right? That's why he's got a home gym down here in the basement. You would have a panic attack if they didn't know where your kid was? I mean, I assumed he was somewhere in the building. I'm not too concerned about them losing him, right? He just wasn't at pickup, so. But I did walk in the building and go find him to figure out what was going on. So, all right, that's part of one done. And yeah, had it been in any other situation, why'd I do that? Well, I can leave that off. That's fine. All right, come on. So, yeah, Friday he's at tryouts. Saturday they had more tryouts, but he got hit in the head with the ball like 3 times, and he wasn't too keen on going back Saturday morning. And I was like, okay. So, he ran a fever over the weekend. He wasn't feeling well. Normally he's running around in a pair of shorts around the house, sitting in his little game room, and he doesn't wear shirts when he's home. if a guest comes over, he runs upstairs to put a shirt on, right? But if it's just me and his mom and him, he's just wearing shorts. That's it. So Saturday, he's in sweats. He's got a sweatshirt on, and that night he was like shaking because he was running a fever. It's like, guess you really were sick, when you said you didn't want to go to basketball tryouts. So I brushed it off. I thought, nothing's going to happen. We're not going to do anything. We're not doing basketball, whatever, right? He's in 5th grade. So I go in today, and I'm sitting in line waiting to pick him up when it's time for school to get out. And he's not showing up. I'm not really paying attention because I've got some stuff going on that I was doing. And the adults that run the show are like, oh, hey, he went to basketball. I was like, oh, okay, well, I guess we are doing that. Surprise. So I got the practice schedule and I got the game schedule, and it's a lot of practice and a lot of games, and that is something that will interfere in my ability to stream because it's all after school, and I've got to make sure that he gets stuff done. So it is what it is. But I'm just glad that he's choosing to, no one well, maybe one of his friends pressured him into playing basketball. And that's not a sport I can help him with. Wrestling, I wrestled in high school. I know the fundamentals, okay? Basketball, growing up in Idaho, we don't have any major sports teams, so there's no basketball team there, right? Like, here we have the Milwaukee Bucks. The only thing I know about the Milwaukee Bucks is that, like, Larry Bird played for him and he was a massive shit talker. That's all I know. I don't know anything else about who's on the team currently. I don't know what the rule, like, you get the ball in the hoop, right? That much I know. So, I cannot help my son when it comes to basketball. That's awesome, though. He knew what he wanted to do and did it. Yes. He also got his Shishobi cube this weekend that he was bothering me about last week. Apparently you got to have a lot of them, so we'll probably grab him a couple more for Christmas. He says his friend has 13. These things are $25 a piece, right? So what's 13? Well, 10 times 25 is $250. 13 times 25 would be $325. So I don't know if the kid like earned his own money or what, but mom and dad shelled out $325 on a cube to play with. It's like, I'll get him some more, but I'm not buying him 13. You know what I mean? Like, I love my son, but he's having fun with it, so whatever. What happened to my music? Yeah. Are we having... Come on, what's going on? There we go. So, yeah. It's like I will go to every practice and every game, and I will be a supportive father as I always am. Whenever he's in a sport, I'm always like right there, because that is something I got from my dad, right? Like, my dad was always around my sporting events, even though I was terrible at sports. Two parts. One, I'm naturally not an athlete, and the second one is I had some really bad coaches. Okay? I did not know what a proficient warm-up was for going for a run until I was in the Army, right? So we would have PT tests in the Army, and at some point I didn't have a car, and I had to ride my bike over to the PT field where we were doing the testing. And by the time I got to the PT field, I was, comfortably warmed up. And that was a great PT test for me. And I was like, oh, well, I'll just do a really good warm-up before every PT test, and then I will perform this good, right? And that is essentially what happened. And I got to thinking about it. It's like, I don't remember ever having a warm-up in cross-country or track. I would have run so much better, because I'd always start out kind of just slogging along in cross country. And I know you look at me now and you're like, Sean, you don't look like a cross country runner. And I'll tell you what, I'm not. But I did try, right? And I would always slog through these runs, and then about halfway through a 5K? It's like 3.1 miles or something. My body would finally warm up, and then I could finish the run. So not what do you call it? Athletically inclined, and bad coaching. So if you have a child in sports, make sure that they get a good warm up in before whatever they are doing. They will perform better. You grind a lot, you're not into fighting bosses? Waves to put me asleep. How you doing tonight? I grind a lot. I'm not into fighting. I'm assuming you're talking about video games. When I play Tears of the Kingdom, doing okay, sipping a bit. There you go. I had 400 hours in Tears of the Kingdom before I finally put it down and got back to work making chainmail. And my kid got halfway through the game and then went and beat the Ganon, the final boss in that game, long before I did. So I had fun going around and just finishing all the quests and collecting all the armor, and I'm still missing a few pieces, but I have a lot of it. You didn't beat Ganon yet? No, the bad guy Ganon at the end of the game, it's not terribly difficult, but I put it off, and I was, I had all the hearts and all the stamina, and I had the Master Sword, and super cool weapons and whatnot. Yeah. Especially when you're starting out. It's like, what? That little creature beat me. Yeah, that was the last game I grinded at all on, just to explore everything. It's like I have it on my bucket list to. Okay, I bought a PS5 a while ago, and I thought, oh, I'll play a lot of video games since I'm sitting around not doing anything. I'll just play video games. And that did not happen. I was supposed to get God of War Ragnarok with the PS5, but the, what do you call it? The coupon code that's supposed to be in the box was not there. And so I spent 3 hours talking to Best Buy customer service and going down to their customer service desk, and finally got $70 returned so that I could buy a game. I don't think I bought a game with it. I don't know what I did with it. The last... Okay, there's so much to explore and you got overwhelmed. You haven't touched Tears of the Kingdom in over a year. Heard the good ones are extremely hard to beat. The good games? Well, I don't know. Like, there is Ninja Gaiden on Xbox 360, right? And that game was very hard for me. I don't know why, it just was. And you can, like, choose your difficulty. Even at, like, low, you know, even on easy mode, that game was hard, right? And I was terrible. I did not have fun. I watched my friend play it, and he's really good. And it's like, he did well, he had fun, but I struggled through the game. I did not have fun. Like, it didn't hold my attention long enough for me to continue to play it because I was, like, just not driven enough to succeed at the game, I guess. I don't know. But yeah, there's a ton to do in Tears of the Kingdom, which is probably why I spent 400 hours in it. And the last Final Fantasy game I played was Final Fantasy VII. And actually, that was one of the games that, like, I got the PS5 to play games, and then never played games really, but I did get the Final Fantasy VII, the original, on there, and played through that for a bit. Yeah, come on. Thanks for the follow, appreciate you. But there are a lot of games I have heard about, like Kingdom Hearts, right? I had friends that loved that game. I think I own it too, and I never played it. I don't know. I always, like, I don't know. I feel guilty when I'm sitting down playing video games because I'm not getting stuff done. It's like, oh, I could have woven so much in the 12 hours I've been playing this video game. You know what I mean? So, like, last night sitting down watching a movie and not doing anything else was a rarity. All right, Astrid, have a good one. And then I made the mistake of getting the PS5. I should have gotten the Xbox, I think it was. The Xbox One. Because I got the PS5 with the intention of playing more video games with my son. And I joined the PlayStation Club, whatever, PlayStation Plus. And I thought that would, you know, give me access to older games that me and my son could play together. It turns out that PlayStation Plus does not have a lot of two-player games that are, like, there's some racing games in there. But there's like only PlayStation games or something. So, and I made the mistake of getting the PlayStation that did not have a disc drive. It's like, I should have waited until that came available. It's like, I wanted that reverse compatibility, you know? But whatever. It is what it is now. All right. Thanks for sharing the live. Appreciate you. So we've added these edge rings here. And now we're going to do it to this side. That is where we're at. And then at the end, we'll take our black and stainless rings and add them to the side. And that is what it should look like when it's all done. And then we'll have 2 bands done. Actually, you know what? I'm going to close up this side now. And then we'll add the rings on the other side. Why? Because I can. Alright, and anymore, it's like I've got work and I've got a ton of projects to finish that have, like, I knew that when I started working again, my ability to complete projects would just, you know, go through the floor. I didn't realize how bad it was going to be. And maybe next weekend won't be so bad because I was out of the house all next weekend. Or all last weekend. Right? And didn't get anything done because I was taking care of some family stuff. But, so, maybe... We'll see. Hopefully this weekend I'll get some more work done, some more time downstairs. Hopefully my spear comes in with the next paycheck that I get, right? I'm going to spend a little bit of it on grabbing some more galvanized pipe pieces for the 30-pound cube display. I want to get that done. And I'm thinking, it's like I have a little, it's not a turntable, it's a Lazy Susan with a mirror on it, right? It's actually right here. Ignore how dirty the mirror is, right? So, I have one of these, right? Battery powered. It'll spin, okay? The issue is that this is not strong. It's plastic. It's not strong enough to hold a 30-pound cube, right? But they make ones that are big enough to hold humans. So, like, I want one of those, and then I'll take the little Lazy Susan, put the galvanized pipe display on it, and then put the cube on top, and that'll be the whole display, and it'll just spin. And I think that will be my, when I go to an art gallery somewhere, that will be my presentation, my full display. So the little Lazy Susan will become part of the art piece. I've already spent too much money on that 30-pound cube. What's another couple $100, right? And if I never sell the cube and I have to lug it around from, you know, event to event someday, it'll make a nice display piece with which to attract customers from. Maybe. I don't know. But yeah. See, I've talked before about how each piece that I want to make needs to have some kind of display for it that is at least as, you know, it's at least somewhat artistic, right? Like using galvanized pipe as a base for a 30-pound cube. Somewhat artistic, not, tremendously not a like difficult thing to do, right? But it ties the piece together. I think the Lazy Susan will tie the piece together. Buying a spear for the Finnegan's Wake inlay ties it together. Putting a large chunk of leather behind the Finnegan's Wake inlay to give it that dark background ties the piece together. And I'm not an art expert or anything, but I think that these things are important, and I'm trying to get better at them. And I would hope that by talking about it, I can encourage other people, to have these like just completely finished pieces. Come on. All right. Okay, so I like to say stuff like, I'm going to start this project next, and I'm going to start that project next. And I really thought that we would be well into the chainmail wrap for my toolkit for my Road King. I have managed to get the toolkit down here, and maybe we'll start this weekend. I haven't found a press punch that I wanted yet, but I would like one for a leather press punch, right? I would like one for the toolkit, the gas tank bib, and for the guitar straps and the belts that I want to finish. So it's like there is a Black Friday sale going on at Tandy Leather, and their press punch went from $500 to $369, and I'm like, still not going to pay that much for a punch press. Not that it's not worth it or anything, but I only needed to go, to do one thing. Just needed to punch some holes in some leather. So, I don't know. I think I can. I've seen other punch presses that are available for a cheaper price, and it's like, I'll keep my money. You know what I mean? All right. I'm glad I sewed up this side here, because it looks much better, and it's going to make it easier to work with, right? So I'm adding the black and stainless rings. That's one edge. Oh, I was going to say something. Okay, so I watched the first of the two Dune movies, the new ones. And I read the book years ago, and this is kind of something I remembered from the book that I thought was really well translated into the show, and that is how they fight with their shields. Like, the shields aren't impenetrable, but they will, stop a quick attack, but they won't stop a slow attack, right? And I remember something about the fighting style in the book, right? Being awkward. And I thought that translated over well to how they presented it in the movie. Also, the worms are ridiculously cool. So, those are my thoughts on Dune. The first half. Haven't watched the second half yet. We'll see. And I know most people have already seen it, and it's old news, and I'm just slow to catch up to everyone. But because of the size of the worms, I imagine that is probably really cool on the big screen. So, kind of kicking myself for not seeing it in theater. But then I don't see a lot of things in theater. Like Top Gun was supposed to be really good in theater. I saw that at home on my TV. And I don't have a small TV or anything, but, you know, it's not a theater quality TV. All right. So, almost done with this edge here. So what would you do? How would you make this? I wonder. It would take a lot of rings to do this, okay? If you didn't see the 30-pound cube, right? I used this weave here called Sandworm, and I made big rings from it, and then I wove the rings together, right? It's kind of a ridiculous piece. Thank you for the likes, appreciate it. So I was thinking, like, how would you do that with elf weave, right? And you'd have to... I don't know how you would do it. You know what? You'd probably have to make a really wide sheet and roll it over onto itself. Alright. Ideas for another time, not right now. But I bet you could do it. Just take the sheet... what happened there? Take the sheet of elf weave, roll it over onto itself, and connect the ends and turn it into a really big ring. That'd be a cool piece. Just have this big circle. You couldn't do lots of them just because it would be so ring intensive, right? But you could do that with a number of weaves. Make really big, cool pieces. All right. Maybe one day we'll do something like that. Have to add color though. I need to open up my heart to adding color and working. And some of the things I want to make are static pieces, so they should not move. The color should stay on there just fine, right? I don't know. I'll figure it out. It's like, because you can make a large chainmail sculpture out of titanium, and I don't know anything about anodizing titanium except that it's an anodizing aluminum is an electrochemical process. Anodizing titanium is an electric process, right? Like you run a current through it in some water with baking soda in it, and you get color, right? So I think that nope, I want to leave that out for now. If I were to make a piece of, if I were to take an elf weave sheet of elf weave and roll it over onto itself and then connect the ends into a giant cylinder, right? Do I make necklaces? I made my necklace. I've made a few others. How you doing, Robert? I make all kinds of stuff. If you're looking for something specific, there are 2 ways to go about getting a necklace. And you can message me if you're curious. But how are you? What's going on in your world? Yeah, I'm doing all right. Glad to hear you're doing good. Okay, so you can use titanium to make a large chainmail sculpture, but you got to anodize the rings first. Then you run the risk of scratching them. If you try and anodize the whole piece afterwards, you have to use like large power supplies, is what I'm told. Like I don't know. I've just been I trust the people who tell me these things because they know more than me, right? So it's like I don't know what to do, but I'll figure it out. Make a piece like that and add some color. Can I do a chain for a wallet? Jacob, yeah, I can. When it comes to making or taking commissions right now, so I'm not set up to do that. If you're looking for a wallet chain, I have some stuff for a wallet chain, just not much, right? Robert, so I've got these glass marbles, right? A friend of mine sent them to me to mess around with, and I'm making monkey paws. So far, I have 3, and right now I'm working on one that is similar to this. This one has racing stripes. It's gonna go fast, and yeah, that's like there's that one. And this one, and then we're doing another one of these. Oh. And this is just to use up rings because I can't turn them into jewelry or use them for anything. So, but if you're looking for a wallet chain, I've made a lot. I don't have a lot of supplies to make a wallet chain right now. So I would have to order rings, and it would take a while. And if you're okay with that, then, shoot me a message. Or I can hook you up with one of the several people I know who make chainmail, who are more set up to take commissions than I am, who routinely do the ordering stuff. And either way, we can get you a wallet chain. So, there will be a point in which I accept nearly every commission, right? But I'm just not set up for it. And I am nearing the end in this backlog of projects that I have to finish. Like, I can see the end. We're getting close. And then I will start spending money on having large amounts of supplies here at the house, so I'm not ordering stuff constantly. Which is another thing. It's like, I am back to work right now, and that is going to fund my coil and cutting setup that I want to have here at the house, so I can make my own rings and have saw cut rings, right? And then finish my riveting setup and my anodizing setup, and what else? I've already got a welder, so that's covered. But I want to, I work with butted rings right now, and some stuff can be welded. I want to be able to make riveted rings. It'll be fun. Unstable connection. This may affect the viewer's live. I need better internet, and I need a better setup. I'm so tired of this. Of course, I had to pick the darkest corner of the house with, to stream from. That was my decision to do that. I thought it would be a good idea. Whatever. The Wi-Fi extender doesn't cut it. Know what I mean? So each of these bands is going to be 280 rings. In this Monkey Paw, there's 840. 3 bands, right? 840 rings. It really should have not taken, so many days to complete this, but I haven't been able to work on it. This is a project that can be completed in a day, right? It's a 5 to 6 hour project, maybe. So I'm hoping to be done with this tomorrow night. And like I said earlier, I like to lie a lot about what projects I'm going to work on next, because Monkey Paws was not on my radar 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, whenever I started churning these out. I wanted to start the toolkit for my Road King early so that I could have that and the gas tank bib done by spring riding season. I think the whole idea of getting all the artwork for my bike done this year is kind of just not going to happen. But it is what it is. So I still have let's see here. If I talk to the shop in December and they're not busy, and then get the bike there in January, right? All of it can be done between January and April, right? The issue is Christmas and bills and life and whatnot. So I might not have enough funds to do that this year, which is fine. It's not a big deal. It'll be a cool project when it's done. So I don't know what else is what other projects are on the table, but we'll get it all done eventually. I think I should wait until I have the punch press, though, to do the gas tank bib and the, what do you call it, the toolkit. I don't know. Pardon me as I choke on air. Come on. There you go. So, tomorrow should be a good day. Today was very busy. Like, we had several patients, and the last patient For those of you who don't know, I'm a nurse. I do home health. So I'm driving around to people's houses and facilities they live in to take care of them. And last patient that we drove to still had the aid inside. And we had to wait until they were done because we needed them to do their job of getting the patient cleaned up before we could go in and apply her dressings. So it was basically, like, it was already late in the day, and I was sitting there waiting for half an hour for the aid to finish up. In addition to having a long day, that just, you know, made it longer. But other than that, it was a good day. We got it done. Tomorrow, the individual that is training me tomorrow said that one patient said that she did not want a male nurse. And that happens from time to time. You know, it's pretty rare, but not so rare that I haven't seen it a few times before. Most people don't particularly care. They just want to get taken care of. And have, you know, like, solid care provided to them. So I won't be going out for too long tomorrow, which will give me time to get some computer work done for work. I would like to get computer work done for me, but there's no time to weave rings and do computer time, so I gotta pick one. It's like, it's difficult to be productive, you know, trying to make stuff and work on the computer at the same time. Like, it just doesn't work. So I really have to focus on one or the other. So but once I am out on my own, which should be in January, I should, you know, I'll be able to manage my time a little bit better, hopefully. So hopefully it'll get me, I don't know, hopefully I'll be able to get more done once I can manage my own time. Alright. One day. We'll get there. Okay. Now, I already know how long these bands need to be, so I've already measured them out and everything. Should be correct, mostly. Might be off by 1 or 2. But once we finish here, it's like I won't have all 3 done tonight. I'll have this one done, and then this is the start of the third one. This chain right here. You start elf weave with a 1-in-1 chain. It makes it fairly easy. Difficult to start, but once you have it going, it makes it pretty easy. So, oh wow. We'll get this finished and then start working on the third one, and wow, come on. grab the ring. There we go. And then I need to stop what I'm doing at some point and take pictures. The last time I posted, I think it was this one, somebody asked me how I made it, and it's like, okay, well, I could try and write it out in words how this is put together. It's easier just to make a video and show someone. And I did. I did try writing it out. It was not going well. Like, English is my first language, but I don't write tutorials for a reason, so. Actually, that's a thing. So, writing a tutorial book. Maybe one day. We'll write a tutorial book for how to make monkey paws. And other various items from Chainmail. Alright. I did not have enough black and stainless rings to do anything more than the edges. Like, I had 300 and... Oh, hey, look at that. I had 320, 310 some odd black and stainless rings. And... Oh, excuse me. I think it was closer to 300. I think I had 300 black and stainless rings left. And I didn't have enough to really, like, do this with. So just the outside edges of this next one have the blackened rings. I really had to think about that one, what I was going to do with them. I wanted to use them up, and I wanted to use a two-tone in this process. In this monkey paw, because like I said previously, I'm not good with color. I do need to work on that, but oh, my ball. I do know that regular stainless and blackened stainless go pretty well together. I have a tendency to use it a lot. I should grow beyond that as an artist. Add more colors than gray and black. Alright, okay. Come on. So what else? We've got... So Friday I went to Chicago. Over the weekend I tore down and rebuilt a deck, and today was a long, hectic day, and I'm just glad to be down here weaving. Tomorrow, like I said, should be a good day, and then I don't know what the rest of the week holds, so... I've got 2 appointments I got to schedule, and then got to remember to do that. It's like they're calling me, I'm calling them. I missed them by 4 minutes today. one of the offices, they closed at 4:30. It's like, oh, it's 4:34. Dang it, Bobby. So, oh. So when I demoed the deck, right? My brother-in-law he runs a mechanic shop. And we took all the trash from the deck and dumped it in his dumpster. And I'd had these, they were bunk beds, and one of them we had tried to use as a planter, but it collapsed. And so I never built the second planter. And so earlier this year, I built a planter bed that is like 3 feet high for Renee. She didn't like to bend down. It hurts her back. So we raise it up nice and high so that she can put plants in it. And so now that the bed of my... Okay, so the bunk beds were in the back with all the trash from the deck, and we threw all of that into my brother-in-law's dumpster. So now the bed of my truck is empty, and I might have a day or two coming up where it's warm enough to go to the local... It's not a landfill, right? But you take your grass trimmings there from your yard or your branches or whatnot, and they compost it up for you. It's like a service the city provides, so there's free compost there. So I need that, and I need to take my truck down there and fill up the bed of my truck and then drive it to the back of the house to put it in the planter bed so that when spring comes around, she can grow stuff. And then next year I want to build one more planter bed. An L-shaped one. So that is something I need to do. Once it gets cold, I'm done, right? Which is why I insisted on getting the deck tore down and rebuilt this weekend. Or at least torn down, because I didn't know exactly what was going on. I was kind of just informed that I'd be providing the service, which is fine. But I knew that if we waited another week, it was going to be colder, and I don't like the cold. So once it gets cold, like, I'm out. If it's cold before I get a chance to grab some dirt from the compost area, then the planter bed's going to remain empty until next spring. And I'll just try and fill it next spring. Like, I'm not going out freezing my butt off for anyone or anything. Like, come on. It's like Wisconsin summers have been pretty nice. The humidity gets a little rough sometimes. But it's not the worst thing I've ever dealt with. All right. I think for the next little bit, this band is pretty much done. We've got 2 of them done, right? And this is the third one, which we could finish in one night, right? So I think what I want to do is measure these out to the correct side, because before the stream tomorrow, I want to demonstrate to someone how to make one of these. And it's, you make one loop, And then you loop that over, and then you loop, right? Hang on. Oh, come on. You bad word. Okay, so you loop them over each other like that, and then another one goes under that one. So over this one, if that makes sense. It's not that hard. But people did ask me to show them how I made it, so I'm just going to size these out and attach the ends. Which is not all that difficult, but got to make sure they're the right size. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 16, 17, 18. Like, this is only 18. Which means we need 2 more. So come on. Alright, so that's 19, right? Come on. I don't know what's going on here. I didn't screw anything up. It's just not doing what I wanted to do for some reason. Or I did screw something up, maybe. Hang on. It's probably user error. That happens a lot when you're making a project. Where's the opening to this ring? Jeez Louise, there it is. Ah. That, and then that. Nope, that's wrong. How did I screw that up twice? Oh, because I'm... Okay, I got it. I figured it out. Oh, my God. There we go. I promise I know what I'm doing, guys. Wow. There. So that would be 2, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. That would be 20. And that's, okay, that is what I want. I realized this fan was like on really high. It's like, why is my eyeball dry? So I got the fan blowing right into it. I had, my dog had an incident after I got home today that I was cleaning up. And then my carpet cleaner machine, there's an O-ring missing. And I went to put the container of water, right, the hot water and soap into the back of the carpet cleaner, and it just dumped all over the carpet tonight before I came down here. I was livid. Where are we at? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 18, 19. This will be 20, right? And then 20, we connect the ends. Should go something like this. There's one. Okay, and this is only the center chain, right? Still got to do the sides. Wow. Be careful when you're working with Xerons. You know, if they slip, they can cause tremendous damage. Okay, so there is the center together, and now I just got to do the sides to make it look like everything else, right? And then we'll have one band when we need 3. So we need two closed, and then we'll make this one, and it'll be open, and we'll just connect that one last, basically, is how this goes. Not terribly complex. But it does have a cool result. And I don't, that needs to go through there. Okay, so I'm not the first one to ever take a band of elf weave and connect the ends, right? Like, that's not anything special. I do think I'm the first one to make a monkey paw. I haven't seen anyone else do it, and it's not like overly technical or anything. I'm just, claiming bragging rights. I was pretty sure I was the first one to do this. I've never seen anyone else do it, but I could be entirely wrong. And I'm in all the big chainmail groups, and I see what they make and stuff, so I haven't seen one before, but that doesn't mean it hasn't happened before. You know what I mean? Like, it's not overly complex, it's just a little creative, and Once I get the right... Probably tomorrow before stream or tomorrow during the day, I'll make a video. Because someone else asked me how I made it. And it's like, I don't have any problem sharing how I do stuff. I have a whole app that's designed to help people learn how to make chainmail. So there's no... Like, oh, a lot of times in the chainmail community, and I think every community has this, there'll be someone who's like, oh, I made that first. You know, that was my design. And sometimes it legitimately is a, like, unique jewelry design, right? So sometimes the individual who created it has a right to complain when others copy their work without giving credit, right? Which, fine. To each their own. I'm not like that, though. You guys, if anyone's watching, you guys can copy anything I'm making. And ask me how, and I will tell you. So, that's why I gotta make the video tomorrow. Alright, last ring on this side. This side is done. That ring out of place? Nope. It's in the right spot. Just checking. Now I gotta do this other side here. This gap. Right there. Like, in every hobby, you're going to have people that are, you know, sticklers, I guess. And some people, okay, I shouldn't classify them all like this because they're not, right? Some people, like, legitimately make designs and they're the first ones to do it, and you know, the problem with chainmail is that it's not copyrightable. Like, all the information surrounding it is open to the public. So if you were to make a unique item and you wanted to not have anyone else create it, you know, or copy it, like, basically you can just never share it with the community, right? That's essentially what, because once you share something with the community, it's in the public domain. Right? So, which, that, it is what it is, right? There are people who legitimately make really cool chainmail designed pieces, right? And there are people who directly copy those pieces and then say they came up with them, right? I can see getting upset at the second group of people there, right? That makes sense to me. But there's also a, I don't know what to call it. There's also a third category of people. Well, there's probably 4 categories now that I think about it. There's a third category of people who, like, they are, I don't know, what they're making isn't, like, anything, it's not copyrightable, it's not a unique design, and, you know, they want credit for it anyway. And it's like, no. Nope, we've been doing that for a long time here, so go take your attitude and shove it. And then there's people who write tutorials, which you're writing a tutorial that is copyrightable. The information inside is, you know, knowledge you gleaned and are offering, you know, in exchange for money. So those I don't have a problem with. The people who do make legitimate designs, right, I don't have a problem with. I got a problem with people who copy them and claim they're not their own, and or claim they are their own when they're obviously not. I got a problem with people who make something very generic and then like it's just not complicated enough to be worth arguing about in the first place. You know what I mean? So, and I think like you have them in every craft group, every crochet, knitting, carpentry, blacksmithing. And I decided a while back when I started this journey that I was not going to gatekeep in any fashion. I actively try to get people to make chainmail because it's been super beneficial for me. There we go. That's one done. Yeah. That looks to be about the right size. So what we'll do here, we'll finish wrapping, or we'll finish closing off this other one. That doesn't want to play. Go in your home. Alright, this one's like pretty secure on here already without the third band. But we'll add a third one anyway. There we go. So the third one will go through here. Right? Through that gap right there. I don't know how well you can see it. On either side. Around this. I can't even like make a video about it or talk about it, but we're gonna make it look like this, right? We're just one band short and it's gotta go here and here. Over this one. Yeah, okay. I think I've made my point. So one more band. We'll close this one off too. Alright, so let's count. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. This one should go much quicker. Alright. So I explained the like 4 different types of people that you run into, and they're in every craft group and whatnot. And it is what it is kind of thing. Every group has them. It's like, I just want to be an open book and help people get into the craft. And I don't have time to gatekeep this from people. Is that? Did I screw that up? Hang on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. This next one I add will be 20, right? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. Yes, the next one I add will be 20. Oh, okay. Well, in that case, yeah, okay, that's better. No, that's wrong. Nope, it's not wrong. And that's Couple more rings. And then we can connect it. All right. Come on. Like, once you've worked with this for a while, it becomes like easy to tell if you screwed up. And that goes for any chainmail weave, right? Like you'll be looking at it like something's wrong, and then you'll add the next ring. That's how you know you got the perfect closure when you can't find it? Yeah. That happens a lot. And it's always the rings with the perfect closures that you have to open. That's the other half of that statement.